Hello everyone, my name is Narrow Raven, and welcome to the Xander Zone, and in this episode we're going over the FNAF timeline, and more specifically, my version of it. But with FNAF right now, there's a lot of interesting things happening when it comes towards the FNAF VR to FNAF Security Breach side of things, so when we get to that part, I'll have two separate videos explaining the two different routes I think are possible. I'll also have to split this timeline into multiple parts, starting with the beginning of it all, or the descent into madness, which covers the beginning of William's journey as a businessman all the way to the passing of his daughter Elizabeth. The next part will cover FNAF's sister location, FNAF 1, 2, 3, Pizzeria Simulator, and if possible, Ultimate Custom Night. The last part will then cover FNAF VR, FNAF AR, and FNAF Security Breach, which have its different routes, which will be called Part A and Part B. The title of those videos are still being decided, and in the future, I'm gonna upload these. Hopefully the next one is gonna be released on Tuesday, and then the last part is gonna be released Thursday of next week. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So this timeline starts with a character named William Afton. William Afton, was a kid growing up during the Great Depression, and since this wasn't a history video, I'll give a brief description of what the Great Depression was when it took place. So the Great Depression took place from the years 1929 to 1939. During this time, William Afton was in a family like any other growing up with not a lot of money. There was this show that William's family did go to this one time called Fredbear's Singing Show, which, interestingly enough, during the Great Depression, dancing bears or performing bears were an actual attraction to go to and see. Anyways, William Afton was inspired by this bear as he was amazed by how magical the experience was. It was a dancing bear. It was a singing bear. So, while growing up, he theorized how to capture the same feeling and give it to the kids and adults of the modern day. So, he made two different characters named Fredbear, which was inspired by Fredbear, and Spring Bonnie, which was his character, but we're just going to call him Bonnie for now, as that's probably what his name would have been during this time. Though he wasn't very good at making animatronics, so he did what anyone else would do during these times, which is make something like a mascot suit to bring these characters to light. William's business was successful, though one day another business erupted in popularity. Specifically, it was a business made by Henry Emily. Henry has his own history. He was a skilled technician and knew how to make animatronics like none other. So, he was hired by a business to make animatronic animals and bring them to life, so he did just that. Henry made Chica the Chicken, Pig Patch the Pig, Happy Frog, Ned Bear, Mr. Hippo, and Orville the Elephant. Though William was jealous of this business, he was also angry as one specific animatronic caught his eye. Though he thought that this specific character was just a direct steal of his character Fredbear. That specific animatronic was Ned Bear. Though William didn't pay much attention to this as he was too busy trying to save his now dying business, one day, Henry Emily saved William from closing his doors in return for partnership. Henry wanted William's ideas, and William knew that Henry could help him achieve his goal. So, although he didn't like Henry, he accepted this deal. Now having this deal, and working with Henry and these higher-ups, William would pitch ideas to Henry, and Henry would build the animatronics that William would pitch to him. Together they made Fredbear's Family Diner. Fredbear's was essentially an old Chuck E. Cheese restaurant, though with Fredbear's Family Diner you had more than just Fredbear and Bonnie. You also had a few new characters. You had Chica, Foxy, Bonnie, which is now the blue one, Freddy, and the security puppet. This business was successful in itself, though William was always jealous of Henry. This kept building up until they made a cartoon named Fredbear and Friends. This show had everyone you saw in Fredbear's except one character, Bonnie, the yellow one, which was William's favorite as it was his creation, it was his own. So William thought he would pitch an idea to the higher-ups that he now worked for, that essentially Henry got him to work with so that they could work together. This idea was Circus Baby's Pizza World. You had Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Circus Baby, Ballora, Bonbon Bonnet, Biddy Bab, Mini Rena, and a potential character named Funtime Fredbear. Take the Funtime Fredbear one with a decent grain of salt there. Though unfortunately Fredbear's Family Diner had an incident involving William's youngest son. We don't actually know his name, so we're going to be calling him the Crying Child. The incident involved Michael, which is the older brother, and his friends putting the Crying Child's head into Fredbear's mouth, and it resulted in the Crying Child's head being crushed. Though William was working on this idea of Circus Baby's Pizza World with the higher-ups when this occurred. William now was understandably pretty upset with Michael and was also pretty understandably depressed as a result of this. So while the Circus Baby's Pizza World project was put on hold, and for when William wasn't with the Crying Child, he worked on something called an illusion disc. So the illusion disc was something that would make you see things differently because of the flashes of lights and noise it would emit. Since Circus Baby's project got the prototype phase of everything, and since he owned the animatronics, he was free to do whatever he wanted to do with them. So he used these suits to store the illusion discs and reprogrammed them to torture Michael while William wasn't at home. William would visit his son as often as he could, though. Unfortunately, the crying child didn't make it, so before he passed away, William promised him one thing, that he will one day put the crying child back together. This passing drove William down a depressed state, and he would drink alcohol a lot. Though, one night, while drunk, he thought of how much he hated Henry, how it was technically Henry's creation that killed his son, so as a result, William went to Fredbear's to tell Henry exactly how he felt. Though when he arrived, Henry wasn't there. Rather, Henry's daughter was outside in the rain, all alone, locked outside of Fredbear's. So, in William's drunken rage, he unalived Henry's daughter, Charlie. The security puppet that was designed to protect her eventually made it outside, though due to the rain, it fell down next to the body of Charlie, unable to do anything to protect her. Since now both owners of Fredbear's Family Diner were unable to run the restaurant due to their losses and now the bad name that they have, they closed down the restaurant and William made some changes to his plans with Circus Baby's Pizza World. He wanted Funtime Freddy to have a voice mimic and a stomach hatch to serve cake. He wanted Circus Baby to have a claw come out of her stomach to give kids ice cream, and many more changes to all of them essentially. Though the higher-ups thought these kind of design choices were a little weird, they went along with it.
There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on those.
William did finish his project and had it go into full effect. He was really happy with how it went. He even had Baby look like his daughter Elizabeth, which obviously made her want to go visit Circus Baby's Pizza World, though William always told her not to go near the animatronics. Though Elizabeth never understood this and ignored these warnings one day and disobeyed her father and went to hang out with Baby alone. Though unfortunately, Baby did go to give her ice cream. Once Elizabeth got close enough, Baby pulled Elizabeth into Baby's stomach and closed the hatch, unaliving her instantly. That's essentially the beginning of this, but there's a couple things that I've left unanswered, so maybe you're wondering, what about Henry? What is he doing throughout all of this? This is where we essentially get the character 2 story out of all of this, kind of like a Resident Evil 2 Leon and Claire situation. So, let's go back to when Henry just saved William from going out of business. So, Henry was a single father to his daughter Charlie. The reason for this being that his wife most likely passed away at childbirth. Though this did make life hard for Henry, he still did his best to watch Charlie and work for the company that he worked for as best as possible. Though he felt he wasn't doing the best he could as a father since he was busy almost all the time. So he made an animatronic endoskeleton and an AI named the Mimic 1. The Mimic 1 was an animatronic with rabbit ears, bright orange eyes, and bright white teeth. Otherwise, everything else was a normal animatronic, though he was missing half of his right ear. The Mimic was designed to copy everything Charlie did, and as a result, be best friends with Charlie, but also be able to take care of her too when Henry wasn't around. So during this time, everything was going well until the incident with William's drunken rage occurred. Henry did work for a little while after this, though being very depressed about the passing of his daughter, he did his best. Though he hated that the Mimic acted exactly like Charlie. He hated it so much that one day he destroyed, ripping it apart limb by limb, hating it, and just completely just destroying it. After this, Henry disappeared from the face of the earth. So since the higher-ups had no idea what happened to Henry, they went to where he lived to see if they could find anything that could help them with technology for building these high-end animatronics. What they found was the dismantled yet somewhat operating Mimic. Though it had no arms or legs, they thought it would still be worth repairing. So, to see what it could do, they gave it new arms and new legs and all the repairmen it needed, and essentially all the workers were completely just unalive, just no chance, since when Henry attacked the Mimic replicated what happened to it. And yes, I do mean all the stuff with the arms and legs and all that happened to the workers. So the Mimic, now with these new arms and legs, could now fit into any animatronic suit it wanted and now stay inside of a suit that I don't know what it is yet. I'd have to do further research into this, which I will most likely mention in the next video. But as of right now, I don't know what the specific suit was, and well, it stayed in its original home, Henry's home, until more workers came to find out what happened to the last team, and they suffered the same fate. And this time it was more stealthy. After this, the Mimic went out on its own and no one could find it, just like Henry. And yeah, that essentially concludes the first part of this timeline. When I was going to do this, I thought that it wouldn't be that long of a timeline. You know, it would be about like an hour like the last one. And then I started writing my first ever script I've ever done, by the way, for this. And yeah, that wasn't happening. This alone is going to be around 12, 11 minutes. And yeah, I'm going to be uploading 3 to 4 parts of this, most likely 3 of the timeline. And it will be one a week. If not, I will try, but I was thinking one a week, not a good idea because that's about a month. So I'm thinking uploading this one either today on May 11th or tomorrow on May 12th. The next one on next week Tuesday, and then next week Thursday will be the last one. And if I absolutely need another one, I will upload the last one most likely on the Tuesday after that. So yeah, just to make sure, watch the community tab in my Twitter for updates, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 200 subscribers, and we are so close, so every little bit helps. And while you're at it, leave a comment down below about what you think of the timeline so far, as well as your theories or what you agree or disagree with. But remember to stay civil, as it's just someone's opinion. And also, if you have any questions about the timeline as of this part, ask, because I'm sure there are some things that are confusing right now, but they will be elaborated on in the next video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.
We know we amazing, the homeboy salty, been 420 blazing, destroying this track, just from over raving, he digging the tracks, and we all fucking raving along with the beat, climbing the drugs at the feet, cruise like a miss on a 5 kill streak, should've never looked too bleak, might as well have taken all week, when I'm back with the boys destroying another beat.